For a lot of us in the nonprofit world, the phrase impact measurement can sound, well, like a chore, right? Something you have to do for a grant report. But what if we thought about it differently? What if it's not about proving your worth, but about truly understanding your power? In this explainer, we're going to break down how to measure what actually matters and how to do it simply and effectively.
This is the question. It's the one that sits at the very heart of why we do what we do. Forget the budgets, the board meetings, the day-to-day grind for a second. Are we really making the difference we set out to make? Now, your gut instinct is a powerful guide, for sure, but real data, that's what gives you the confidence to answer this question with a resounding yes.
Okay, so yeah, it's true. Funders want evidence. They need to see the numbers. But let's be totally honest with ourselves. The most important, most transformative reason to measure your impact, it isn't for them. It's for you. It's for your team. It's for the soul of your mission. It's all about knowing, not just hoping, that your work is changing lives.
And this is where the magic really happens. Good data helps you answer the big strategic questions. See, it's not just about looking backward at what you did. It's about charting the course forward. It's like a roadmap that shows you, hey, invest more here, this is working, or reveals the blind spots you might not see otherwise. It creates this awesome feedback loop for getting better and better. And that last point, that's how you go from saying, I think we're helping, to showing exactly how.
So, where in the world do you even begin? Well, the good news is you don't have to measure everything all at once. Phew! The secret is knowing what kind of data to track in the first place. So, let's break down the main types, and we're going to start with the single most important distinction in this entire field.
Okay, so this slide right here, this is the whole ball game. On one side, you've got what we do. Think of these as your activities, your inputs, and your outputs. It's the stuff that's pretty easy to count. On the other side, you have what changes. These are your outcomes. This isn't about your activity, it's about the effect of your work. It's a little trickier to measure, but man, is it infinitely more valuable.
Here's a perfect example of an output. Serving 450 students, that's fantastic. It shows your scale, it shows your reach, and that's an important number to know. But it doesn't answer our big question, does it? It doesn't tell us if anything actually changed for those students because they were in our program.
And bam, there's the difference. This is an outcome. It's not about how many students walked through the door. It's about what happened to them after they did. This single sentence tells a powerful story of change, of progress. This is where your true impact story lives.
So, you should know there is one more level. Impact. This is the big, long-term, system-level change. And while this is absolutely the ultimate goal, don't feel like you have to measure it on day one. Honestly, it's complex, it can be expensive to track. For almost everyone starting out, the most powerful and practical place to begin is right where we just were, with outcomes.
Feeling a little overwhelmed by all this? Please don't be. The secret to getting started isn't building some massive, complicated system. No, it's about keeping it simple. We can cut through all that noise with a super straightforward framework that's built on just 3 little questions.
I absolutely love this quote because it just gets right to the point. The goal here is not to build some flawless academic-level system that could be published in a journal. The goal is to build a useful system, one that gives you insights you can actually use and that your team will, actually maintain. It is all about progress, not perfection.
And here it is. This is that simple framework. Think of it as your blueprint. You just start by asking, okay, really, what change are we trying to create? Then you ask, all right, what's the evidence? How will we actually know if it happened? And finally, what is the absolute simplest way we can collect that evidence? That's it. Every single great measurement project, big or small, starts right here.
All right, theory is great, but let's make this real. How do we turn that little 3-question framework into something you can literally start on today? We're going to walk through a concrete step-by-step plan for your very first measurement project. And trust me, no PhD is required.
Just look at how manageable this is. Don't try to measure your whole organization at once. That's a recipe for disaster. Start small. Pick one program and just one outcome. Define what success looks like in plain English. Figure out how you'll spot it. Then set up the absolute simplest collection method you can think of. Gather the data for one cycle, and then, and this is probably the most important part, carve out time to actually look at it and reflect on what you found.
So as you start, here's the number one trap to avoid. It is so tempting to just measure attendance, the number of people who show up. Why? Because it's easy. It's a hard number and it feels like progress.
But remember what we said earlier, attendance isn't change. That's why step 2, defining success, is your anchor. It forces you to focus on what truly, deeply matters.
And here's the second big trap. Please do not fall in love with designing a complex system. A simple Google form, an Excel spreadsheet, hey, even a physical notebook. If it's something your staff will actually use consistently, it is 1,000 times better than some fancy, expensive software tool that nobody ever touches. Remember, useful, not perfect. And just a few more quick guardrails for the road. First, don't try to track 10 different things at once. You're just going to get buried in data. Start with 2 or 3 key outcomes that really get to the core of your program. Next, please remember that numbers don't tell the whole story. Those quotes from participants, the stories of transformation, that's qualitative data, and it adds the crucial why to your numbers. And finally, don't just set it and forget it. Your plan is a living thing. Look at it every year and make sure it's still telling you what you need to know.
So how do you get your busy, passionate team on board with all this? This, right here. This is the key. You have to frame it internally. This is not about judgment. It's not about checking boxes for a funder. This is a tool for all of us to learn together. When your staff sees that this data leads to smarter decisions and actually celebrates their hard work instead of punishing them, they don't just buy in. They become champions of it.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Don't chase the perfect, flawless data point. That's a myth. Instead, chase usefulness. What you're really building is a compass, a tool that empowers you and your team to make better decisions and to lead with the deep confidence that you are, in fact, creating real, measurable change in the world.
And that brings us to the end. But I don't want to just leave you with a summary. I want to leave you with the challenge. Looking at all your programs right now, what is the one meaningful change, the one single outcome that you can commit to measuring starting this month? Really think about it, because that simple question, that's where this entire journey from just hoping to truly knowing begins.